What up, everybody? Can you hear me? I don't know if we're live yet. Let me check. We might be live already. Oh yeah, there are a couple of people. What up, Angel? What up, Curtis, Kay, Michael, Christine, Lori, Beth, Zach, Lee. Okay, we got a couple of people in here. Give me just a second. I'm getting set up right now. What up, everybody? It's gonna be a good night tonight. I can feel it in my bones. Oh, we got some people showing up in here now. What up? I'm just posting my links right now, just in case. Oh, shoot. All right, links are posted. Let me pin this. Pinned. Okay. What up, everybody? I am in Denver tonight. So I told everybody, well, we were playing pickleball last night on the backup channel, which is called Jeremy Reed 1980, if anybody was there. What up, Bush Diver, DB, LV, NV, what up? Holly, Joyce, DB. Anyone see the attack in LA on the Waymo self-driving cars? I didn't see that. That's interesting. I was going to do a live stream from home. That's what I was set up to do. What up, Jack and Neve? What up, Gregory, Tucker? And then about, I want to say about 2 o'clock, it started snowing. Linda and I were like, "Ooh, let's take a nap." And then instead of taking a nap, I went out and scooped the front sidewalk. Then we ended up taking a little bit of a nap. Then when I woke up, I was like, you know what? I would rather drive around in this. That was one of the things I was looking forward to. Even last year when I was back here visiting Colorado, I was like, oh, I miss driving around in the snow. I especially miss driving around with a manual transmission and popping the e-brake and then doing some spins. I don't know what we're going to get into tonight. I just know that I'm excited about it, and that's how I'm living my life right now. I check in with myself a lot. I'm like, what is best case scenario? What do I want more than anything? And then I go with that choice. So even if something is planned, I can still pull an audible and change it up. I'm giving myself that room to do that. What up, Samantha, 808, Sammy Jane, Gigi, Catherine? It looks like we're getting decent reception. Last time that I was where I am right now, I wasn't getting good reception. So I'm at least encouraged by that. What up, Daniel, Tanya, Randy, Catherine? Okay, so I am going to, at some point tonight, I'm going to share some life lessons. At least one that I can think of right now that is very important. And other than that, I think we're just going to cruise around, hang out with each other tonight. It's not super cold. I want to say it's in like 20 degrees, something like that. Chuck H, are you done with Los Angeles? I'm not done with Los Angeles. Definitely not. So it is buffering just a little bit, and I think it's due to this area. So let me just take a quick walk around where I am, and then I know that it's going to buffer until I get back in the Jeep and leave this area. So yeah, I know that it might buffer a little bit, but let me just do like a quick little walk and then I'll come back here. It's cold, but I mean, it's like, it's okay. It's acceptable. This is the amount of snow. I mean, it's a substantial amount. If you have tennis shoes, you're probably in trouble. The sound is good? Oh, good. I know it's buffering. Starting out with a copyright strike. Not ideal, but has anybody ever been here before? Casa Bonita. I was here a lot in middle school and high school. I got food poisoning there as a child. I definitely think that you've been here before then. That sounds legit. I love that place. But here's me in front of it. I've eaten some low quality food here in the past. That's for sure. This fountain was closed for a long time. And Matt and Trey from South Park redid it. I see some happy people leaving right now. All right, give me a little bit just to get out of this area and the reception will get a little bit better. Oh, it was this brewing company that was playing the music. I was wondering where that was coming from. That wouldn't have been Casa Bonita. I wore boots just in case I was needing to go outside, and that was the right call. Last couple of days I've been wearing tennis shoes, and that was the wrong call. They've been getting wet, they've been getting cold. Tonight at least I have the warm boots on. If you've never been to Casa Bonita, put it on your bucket list. What up, Susan? What up, Mama Hill, Shannon, Stacy, Judy? I hope everybody can hear me. Give me about 5 minutes. Let me get us out of this neighborhood. When I turn onto the main street back here, that's going to be Colfax Avenue. You can look it up yourself, but I think it's the longest street in America. You can let me know in the comments if that's right or wrong. Welcome, everybody. We're at House of Bonita. And since it's snowy, people have parked kind of crazy. Linda and I have not been in here yet to eat. We've tried several times, but it hasn't happened yet. Iggy, what up? Judy, Usmal. Alright, let me get us out of here. I'm expecting the reception to be sketchy for about the next 4 minutes or so. And then we'll try to do some snow driving. I really like driving in the snow. Earlier, Linda got to drive a little bit in the parking lot. She's pretty good in the snow. I had a thought in my head. I was like, please don't wreck, because I want to drive around tonight. And she didn't wreck. She did a good job. Need a reservation to eat there. Yeah, so we've been trying to get a reservation. Oh, look at the snow in front. We can get sideways right here. Yeah, we tried to get a reservation and it hasn't worked out yet, but it's okay. Woo! We're patient. Can you hear the little squeak in my brakes? I have like a little piece of brake dust or something in there. I really like driving when there's this amount of snow on the ground. It pretty much feels like you're on a snowmobile. Like you just have to drive as if you're not going to be able to stop for 10 feet everywhere you go. I like it. I was looking forward to this last April. Yeah, so now that it's finally here, I have to enjoy it. And you can see like some of the streets are scooped and plowed, but then like this parking lot right here, just nothing. And then you can turn, I don't know if it's still buffering or not, but you can turn into these little parking lots and then just get sideways, kind of have it all to yourself. Get squirrely, save it, lose it. Did you move to Denver? It's just not the same cruise as in Denver as LA. Yeah, so William S. That's a comment that I've had maybe 5 months now. What ended up happening was my wife and I came out here in the summer. We were hanging out, we were camping, we were hanging out with some friends. And I just kind of flirted with the idea. I was like, what if we moved here for the season? Even before I thought about making that reality, I knew how many people would have a problem with it. I knew it. But I think the majority of the responsibility for that is on me, because I've only shared that one thing. I've only shared like the LA cruises. Now, the stuff that let's even just go back this summer. The stuff that I was looking at in May, let's say. Okay, I'm going to go live on Friday and Saturday. We're going to see police chases, fires, hear crazy calls, go respond to that. I don't think it will ever be enough for a huge majority of people. I don't think that anything that I do from here on out will ever be enough. This isn't what I was expecting. I've already like chewed that up and swallowed it. I know that that's the case. The burden is on me because I've only shared that one thing. Like I am interested in like 5 to 7 major things, and that chasing the scanner call stuff is like number 7. the stuff that's ahead of that, I just get way more excited about. And that's what I've been doing lately. Ever since I moved back to Denver, I'm checking in with myself so much. And I'm like, what do I really want to do tonight? Even though I said I was going to stay at home and stream, do I really want to stay at home? No, I would actually rather go out and drive around. Okay, I can do that. So I am thankful that I can pull the audible and do whatever I want. If people are wondering, is he aware that this isn't as exciting as it? Yes, I'm aware of that. I get it. I understand that. Do I think that there's more exciting stuff happening in the future? I do. I do think that that's the case. But I'd rather have people just kind of adjust to, I don't know what this is going to be. When I tune in to hang out with this dude on the weekend, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what it's going to be like. Hugh Stevenson, Buffalo Flats Garage, member for 15 months. Thank you, bro. So this is Colfax. And this is in West Denver. I'm taking us toward the city right now. We're gonna go hang out in the city. So I knew that. I was like, okay, if I do decide to change my home base from Southern California to Colorado, there's actual LA. There was a lot of risk, and some of the risk I was taking, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze in some of those scenarios. Mama Hill, not the longest, but in there. Great to see you all. What up, Mama Hill? Thank you so much. Here's a little Jeep dealership right here. Here's a 7-Eleven that is right by a barbecue spot. Frank's Barbecue Catering. Dan Atkins, I'm okay with whatever. I enjoy the community. So that was the thing that I had to think about was, okay, I'm going to be exploring some different things in the next few months. What does this look like for the community of people that like count on this? I knew already. I was like, there's going to be a lot of people that fall off, that aren't to do what's best for me, so that I want to come out and do this. And right now, I actually do want to be out here. Like, I don't feel like I'm obligated to be here. I don't feel like I have to. And that's the sweet spot for me. I want to feel like I want to be out here. See, look at these little side streets. Some of these are just packed. Can you see the snow on the right? This dude has like a half camouflage bus. See, there's some real uncut snow over here. So the road that we were just on, Colfax, that's pretty scooped, but these side streets are not scooped. Mr. Jesus, you're welcome back in LA anytime. Thank you so much. If you want to flip forward toward the end of the book, I'm definitely not done with LA by a long shot. But I did want to fill in some Denver time. Ooh, this was a Jeep. Oh, this was a Jeep SRT. I can tell by the wheels. I used to have this car. I had a black one and I had a red one. We're gonna go to the back and see if it's the dual exhaust in the back, but I can already tell it is. Yeah, see the dual exhaust in the middle? I had a black one and I had a red one. And this is, so I had an 07 and an 09. I'm guessing it's one of those two. Earlier, so Linda and I went and played pickleball early this morning. If anybody was with me on my other channel last night, I took the stream to a late night pickleball practice with Linda and I. There were a couple people that were like, this is kind of boring. If I was there watching, maybe I'd feel differently, but this isn't exciting. I didn't think it was going to be exciting. I just wanted to share with everybody what I was doing. And that is kind of the goal for me in the next several months, is just to kind of keep you informed of what I'm doing. Is it going to be super exciting all the time? Doubt it. But it's the reality that I'm in right now. And, oh, I like this car right here. Look at this Mitsubishi. Oh, this is dope. I saw something similar to this on Facebook Marketplace recently. It was a, ooh, is the steering wheel on the other side? It is. Look, the steering wheel's on that right side. I was actually looking at one of these the other day on Marketplace. This is a DOHC 5-valve, 4-wheel drive. Look at the curtains. I like that. So as we were leaving, Linda and I went and played pickleball this morning from 9 to 11. As we were leaving, everybody's just so nice to us. It's different. Like when we were just living in Orange County, there's a lot of people that just kind of keep to themselves. You say hi to somebody and they just kind of look at you like, I don't want any. Here, people are very generous with their politeness. A lot of people have manners here. I told Linda when I was growing up here, I thought that a lot of places were like this. I thought it was kind of the majority of places were acting like this. Now I don't feel like that. I feel like we're lucky to be here. And I did have a goal of sharing what it's like to live here with the community, and that's what I'm trying to do even tonight. Just give you a little glimpse of like, okay, this is what it's like Saturday night. I don't think a lot of people are going to be out. Broncos play, and maybe make some cookies in their parking lot. I don't know yet. We'll see. But this is Colfax. Very famous street here. And we're heading east into downtown. And if you're just getting here, welcome. It's about 9:20 Saturday of January, beginning of February, mid-February. I go on a snowboarding trip with some friends of mine from California, and we do like a destination vacation. Hold on, I'm gonna try to turn in here. Oh, hold on. I just put out some people behind me. Sorry. We do a destination trip. Last year we were in Breckenridge. Oh shoot, I didn't quite make this turn. Hold on. Excuse me, pardon me. Last year we went to Breckenridge. This year we're going to Park City. So next weekend, I'm gonna be snowboarding with the bros. I like this. This might be the thumbnail right here. I am guessing that I will be back in LA in February. I'm thinking February or March for sure in LA. So the trip is going to be kind of moving around that. Also, my mom has been going through some stuff and I need to go kind of carve out a few new things from my mom. That's gonna happen February. So that's the priority. And then after that, we'll see when I can lock down the dates for the LA trip. They're doing a lot of construction on both sides of Colfax here. This is a coffee shop straight ahead to the right. Colorado has a lot of hot springs. We used to go snowboarding, and then on the way back from snowboarding, have bathing suits in our snowboarding bag, and then stop and sit in hot springs on the way back. Sometimes it smells really sulfuric. It smells like rotten eggs, but it's good for your skin. The minerals in there, great for your skin. I've never lived in this area of Denver. I've had a lot of friends that live over here and visited people, partied over here. I've never actually lived in this area. And so some of these buildings, like these buildings here, probably have such a cool view of downtown. Downtown's just right over here. Hold on. I'm gonna exit here and see if I can get to the Bronco Stadium parking lot. My sister lives in this area. Nice. I'm embarrassed at how many times I've been lost since I've gotten back here. But a lot of things have upgraded. That's the Colorado Department of Transportation building right there. One thing that Linda and I were impressed, it seems like they don't even care where you're gonna park. I think the planning here. Oh, here's an A&W KFC. Sweet. It says all American food A&W. So it's snowing, but it's kind of like snowing sideways. Is it buffering? Okay, this is one of the ways to get into the parking lot. This is Empower Field right here. This is where the Denver Donkeys play. I think it was last season that the Miami Dolphins, he's from Aurora, Colorado, which is just outside of Denver. So I'm sure that felt good and bad for him to do that. Like, I bet it felt good because he's the coach of a team that, you know, had one of the biggest wins in NFL history. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of our team. All right, here's where I wanted to get in, right here. And I can't get in there. Anybody that's from this area, there used to be an arena here called McNichols Arena. And my friends and I would go watch. That's where we saw the original Avalanche games, 96. That's where I used to see a lot of my first concerts, McNichols Arena. Empower Field at Mile High. This is really cool stadium. And then the old Mile High Stadium was behind this, behind there. So this was actually the parking lot, and then they swapped it. They made a new stadium in this parking lot, and I don't think anything, I think there's maybe housing on the other side of that. But this area has a lot of memories for every Denver sports fan. Right on the other side of this is where you go for Meow Wolf. Ooh, we can actually go in here. I don't know what reception's gonna be like. This is kind of an underpass, but let me see real quick. There's some cop cars over here. Oh, there's a cop in that SUV. He looked over at me like, "What are you doing?" There was a cop in there like trying to hide. This used to be a coffee shop I used to go to right here, I think. I think this is Penny Lane, or it used to be. If this is where I'm thinking of, my friends used to go in there. We used to get one clove and then share it. We got the scooters all waiting right here. Oh, I'm missing stuff. Hold on real quick. Let me try to scroll back. Give me a second. Felzu. I saw the Avs in the playoffs from the top of Big Mac. It was an awesome time. 6 inches of snow in the Springs. Be safe. That's awesome. Jason Arroyo, member 14 months. What up, Jay? Thank you both. I appreciate that. There's a pool hall that Linda and I go to, and the pool hall bought a lot of the things out of McNichols Arena before they tore it down. It's a place in Broomfield. I think it's called Zoosters, Zoosters. I think that's what it's called. But they have some of the original seats from McNichols Arena. They just have a bunch of stuff that was actually in McNichols, and it's cool to see it. I saw Beastie Boys there. One of the last concerts I saw, it was Tribe Called Quest opening up for Beastie Boys, and it was right when Tribe Called Quest was about to break up, so it was kind of their farewell tour. Five Dog was still alive. Q-Tip was amazing, and that's when the Beastie Boys had Mixmaster Mike as their DJ. Thank you, Randy F. I appreciate that. My cousin just texted me and asked me if I'm at X Games. I am not at X Games this year. We did get invited to X Games this year, but we had to say no. If you're ever in Denver, definitely make a pit stop here. This Meow Wolf is really cool. they put it right in the parking lot. Right in the parking lot of the Broncos Stadium. A lot of people still think that I work for X Games because I worked there for so long. Like 11 or 12 years that I was there every single year. I miss certain elements of that, but I don't miss going to the event. I used to get my outfits ready so far in advance because I would get so cold. I'd be standing outside for maybe 10 hours a day, maybe more. And I would have to go in and switch to different boots, different socks, different gloves, because the stuff that I would be wearing would either get too cold or it would get too wet. So it was just always like a cat and mouse game of like, okay, is this pair of gloves warm enough to wear? Nope, still wet. I had to end up buying a lot of gear just because I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. But for me, the best part of that X Games experience was the beginning. Early 2004, 2005. The people that I grew up watching skateboarding and snowboarding, they were still there competing. Does anybody remember a snowboarder named Danny Cass? He used to do a trick called the casserole. He started a company called Grenade. It's a snowboarding company. And it was big in 2005, 2006. It was cool seeing these younger kids kind of expand and start their own businesses, use the connections to get sponsorships and have people help them out. The part that was hard for me was seeing people that I actually like followed and knew get hurt. So people would, wait all year to go to X Games, and then since that was almost like the Olympics back then, that was where all the sponsors were really like, a lot of eyes were on that event. They would do their craziest stuff and a lot of people would get hurt. And when people would get hurt, that was my department. I was in the PR department. So they would kind of train us on how to downplay it. Oh, it looked worse than it was, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Even when we knew it wasn't going to be okay. Oh, there's the light rail up there crossing. I went to an Avs game, I think it was probably 2 weeks ago or so now. My friend and I rode the light rail to and from the game. I want to say it was $5 for the full day pass. But yeah, when I was working at X Games, I was so cold. Like this, it would always be at the end of January. So the event is in Aspen. And it's at this mountain called Buttermilk Mountain. And they've had the lease on that venue as long as I can remember, since like 2003 maybe. They keep getting a good deal on that venue. Back then, the summer event was happening at Staples Center. So it was Staples Center, LA Live. And eventually the price on that venue just kept going up and up. I really liked those years because we had free reign of everything in Staples Center. So all the press boxes, all the locker rooms, the Kings play there, the Clippers used to play there, the Lakers. We were in all of the locker rooms and all of the areas where the players would be. So that was definitely a highlight for me. Felzoo. Dave Matthews Band at Folsom Field in Boulder before they stopped doing concerts there. They went 15 minutes past curfew in 2001. Felzoo. So one of my first ever concerts in Colorado, I saw Pearl Jam at CU Fieldhouse. This is probably like 94, 95. Pearl Jam at CU Fieldhouse, that was amazing. I saw the Warped Tour, and that was outside CU, kind of by Folsom Field, but it was like definitely outside. That was an amazing concert. One of the people that I remember seeing there was Sublime. That was when Sublime I think they had just come out with 40 Ounces of Freedom. And so they pretty much performed that whole album, which is one of their best albums in my opinion. Right now we're right by Ball Arena. This is the venue where, oh, I can't even turn there. Okay. I think there might be a game tonight. Is there a Nuggets game tonight? Pretty packed over here. I have 2 updates from last week. So last week I had Linda in the car with me. She decided to drive around with us last weekend and just say hi, hang out. Linda jokes a lot, so do I. I guess it's hard to tell when we're being serious and when we're not, because we kind of have the same tone for both. When Linda's family was visiting, 2 of our nieces were talking about this website called Foot Finder, and we had never heard of that before. And it was 2 younger nieces that we have that were like, yeah, there are some people at my school that make money on Foot Finder. We didn't know what that was. We ended up looking it up. It's a website where girls can post pictures of their feet. We were just, somebody was like, does Linda have her own channel? And we said, oh no, she just has a Foot Finder profile, but she doesn't have an OnlyFans. She was just joking. Ellie, what up? What up, Sonia? What up, Ellie? So yeah, I apologize to anybody that thought that that was us being serious. We were not being serious. We were just joking. I got, I want to say 6 or 7 emails from people that are like, we hate to ask this, but what's her profile? And I didn't respond to anybody because I'm just responding right now in like a blanket response. Linda and I were here on Thursday. This is called Mario's Speakeasy. I had previously said that was called Marco's, but I was wrong. And Linda let me know several times that I was wrong because she's like, I keep looking up Marco's and it's not in that area. So we ended up going there and it's called Mario's. But Linda and I were here on Thursday. We went and ate at Mario's. It was good. It wasn't as good as when I was there last time, but it was still good. And then on Thursday night, we were right here, a block away from here at Denver Comedy Works. And we saw one of my favorite comedians. His name is Phil Hanley. If you don't know who that is, please look it up, Phil Hanley. Lucas Rem, saw Nirvana performing Teen Spirit when they just released Bleach. They asked us if we knew Shocking Blue. That's cool. I saw Nirvana here in Denver in '96. They were at Denver Coliseum, and Denver Coliseum had put out folding chairs. And when Kurt Cobain took the stage, he was like, you can thank the venue for putting these folding chairs here. And he's like, you know what? Everybody should just pick up these folding chairs and push them to the back. Well, obviously, if like the lead singer or somebody that you like is telling you to do that, you want to do it. So everybody started picking up these folding chairs, but they were linked to one another. And everybody was kind of trying to like push them to the back to get them out of the way. It was it was crazy. Like people were trying to like throw them. People were pushing them. It was chaos. The venue was going crazy. They were like, don't do that. People were doing it anyway. I went with my sister and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend's name at the time, his name was Jeremy. And he was this kid that I really looked up to a lot. I'll always remember that concert because he passed away a couple years after that. And I just never thought, like, he was 4 years older than I was. I just never thought somebody that I was really close to like that would pass away. I just couldn't believe it. He was in a motorcycle accident, and that was one of the reasons why my mom would never let me do anything motorcycle related, dirt bike related. If I ever did any of that stuff, I had to keep it a secret from her. She was like, please don't put me through that. She's like, our family's dealt with enough. Like, you're already wild. Just please stop with the motorcycle stuff. And I did for a long time, but now I just love my e-bike so much, and I have to remind myself to be careful because that e-bike is just so insane. It's got so much power. Here's where the outdoor ice skating rink is. What up, Cindy, Ellie, Orion? I'm still on the, I'm a little bit behind in the chat. Golden Age, what up? Here, I'm gonna tilt it up. I like this drive through Denver. This is on 17th Street. Isn't this a cool building right here? So I'm 44 years old. I'm gonna be 45 next month. I'm just learning how my memory works, how I learn the best. I've known for about a decade, but I'm such a visual learner. I probably have learning disabilities. I've never really been like checked out in a good way, but I'm sure that I have autism, flashes of dyslexia, all of that kind of stuff. I'm sure that I have traces of a lot of that. Oh, look, we have our first skirt of the night. When Linda and I went to the comedy show, I want to say it was like 7 degrees outside, and then it felt like -2. And Linda was pointing out that there were still girls wearing skirts. And then also when we were playing pickleball yesterday, we saw guys wearing shorts. So yeah, whenever I see a guy wearing shorts or I see a girl wearing a skirt, I try to point it out, just because living here, you have a different standard of what cold is. It's been really funny for me to watch my wife adjust to living in these kind of conditions. She was born in Southern California. She's lived in Mexico, Korea. She's been to Canada a lot. She lived in Seattle for a long time. A lot of her family lives up there. I didn't realize that she had never spent a long time in snow. I always figured that the Pacific Northwest had a lot of snow. They have Mount Hood. They have good snowboarding up there. I don't know. That was a blind spot that I had. I didn't know that they were not a snow-rich state. But it's been funny seeing her get new clothing, adjust to, oh my God, it says it feels like it's -4 outside. And then one of my favorite comments that she's made was, it hurts to breathe, because the air was so cold. She was like, it hurts to breathe. I'll never forget how it sounded when she said that. She was like so shocked. Like, wait, how do people do this? It hurts to breathe. But the answer is you just adjust. Like, especially if there's no other choice, you just adjust. And this is one of my favorite places. Hey, Turtle Butt's in here. What up? D-Man W, what up? Turtle Butt, good to see you. This is one of my favorite spots. This is 16th Street Mall. Still under construction. I can't wait to show everybody what that looks like if they ever finish it. That'll be a fun tour when we can actually look around there. A couple things that I miss about Southern California. Number one is my friends. I miss my friends so much. That was the thing that kept me in that state for so long. I know a lot of good people that'll probably be there most of their life, if not all their life. I miss the people. One of the other things that I miss a lot is the pizza. My favorite pizza anywhere on planet Earth is Sergeant Pepperoni's Pizza in Orange County. I've been there with Ellie a couple times. They used to have this pizza there called Super Bee that was amazing. They have my favorite ricotta. And they were the ones that really turned Linda and I onto ricotta. Now we get ricotta on pizza whenever we can, really. They have a pizza there called Meatball Ricotta. If you ever have the chance, you need to go check it out. Anthony's in Denver is awesome, though. I haven't been there yet. My favorite place is called Pizzeria Leopold. It's on Wadsworth. I think that's what it's called. I got the white pizza there last time and it was really good. I'm really into garlic right now, and I like a white sauce. Sometimes it's fettuccine-ish. Sometimes it's like garlicky. This road to the right, see how that's closed? Sometimes you can drive over there. This is by Civic Center Park. I need to stop by here some night and show you this little statue. Kind of looks like there's a pendulum in the middle. And this says McNichols. Civic Center building. I think it's kind of human nature for people to want to skip ahead and be like, okay, we need to know what you're going to be doing in May. We need to know what you're going to be doing this summer. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing, because the new way that I'm living my life is constantly checking in with myself to see what the best case scenario is going to be, and then also leaving enough room for that to change. So if I feel like doing something this weekend, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it next weekend, but I'm giving myself that room to adjust. And that is one of I said that I would share a couple life secrets. That's one of the big life secrets that's led to me being really happy in the last few months. I'm constantly asking myself, what do you really want to do? What would make this night the best night for you specifically? And in the past, I was weighing in a lot of options. Oh, it's this person's birthday. If I didn't go to this, I was doing that were kind of on autopilot. And now I'm checking with myself to be like, what is the highest level of interest that I can go for tonight? Ooh, check this out. There's snow on the Denver dustpan right here. Look, you can kind of see it snowing sideways and snowing up. And this is one of the museums here in Denver. My friend got married in this building over here. Everybody had to walk through this little walkway. He got married right in that round building to the right. I think that's one of the reasons that I've been so happy lately is I've been asking myself what I really want to do, and then doing it, and then rechecking the next day. Okay, is that really best case scenario? And then really only messing with best case scenarios. That's so different than the life that I was living last December, last January. So yeah, that's the first piece of life advice that I have for anybody is like check back in with yourself, and then also make yourself your own best friend. Let's say that you're a good house guest. Oh, I have people staying with me. I want to show them a good time. Do that for yourself. Like, make yourself your own best friend. Show yourself the best time. I've been doing it. It's been working. Subaru is the #1 4x4 car in Swiss, not the ECVT version, please. You're gonna see, I bet you'll see at least 10 right at the end of Civic Center Park. Still says Happy New Year up here. I think it says Happy 2025. This is where Linda and I were hanging out with the Christmas tree. You can see how much it snowed right here. Lori Mack, what up? Princess, Magical Maddie, what up? Ellie, thank you so much. See, I would have missed that. I saw the green hearts in the chat. Thank you so much, Ellie. Take a guess in the chat how many gifted memberships that you think that Ellie has gifted in the last 2 years. Oh wait, I gotta switch this. If your chat says top chat, you gotta switch it to all messages. Make sure it says all messages there at the top. If I had to guess, I'd say that Ellie is like 4,000 gifted memberships. Which I'm gonna guess is probably like one of the leaders of all time on YouTube, which is crazy. So thankful for Ellie. I think a lot of people don't even realize how much Ellie has kept this whole cruising thing going. There have been so many nights that I didn't even break even, and then the people that really like hook it up, the Steffies, the Ellies, the people that have been members for super long time, they've kept this cruise going in the dark times, in the times, and it was very light. And this kind of light snow is my favorite. This is what it feels the best riding, skiing, or snowboarding. When you fall, this is what it feels the best to fall in. Sometimes snow is heavy and kind of wet. That's not this snow. This snow is very light, wispy. Earlier, Linda and I were looking out, and there's a stoplight kind of close to where we live, and we were watching it snow up. It was almost like a cyclone. It was swirling and snowing up. This is the state capitol right here. And this looks like a very old church. Looked like that guy was just yelling at the church. Colorado in winter has never been unusual. Did I read that right? What up, Todd? What up, Vaughn, Cruel, Grace, Jordan, Amy? All right, I am going to try to get us into some new areas tonight. Turtle Butt, Ellie is the best, a true believer. Yeah, I don't think Ellie gets the credit that she deserves. She's like the lighthouse for this stream. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Matt too. I hope Matt's partying tonight. I don't know what he's up to, but I hope he's having a good night. Oh, I just drove over the curb a little bit. I was actually talking to some people about a possible party in the summertime. But before we do the summertime party, I'm gonna try to organize a Colorado party. There's a place here called Putt Shack, which is like a little miniature golf place. Linda's been wanting to have a party there because she's just so good. Like, if Linda's good at something, she's like suggesting it a lot. She's really good at Putt Shack. So if you have any ambitions of coming to the party and beating Linda, you better start practicing now. She's good. We were here one night. This is just east of the state capitol there. We turned in here and there were, I want to say, 10 cop cars in front of us. And a friend of mine used to have an artist studio in this brick building in front. After the stream, I texted him. I was like, hey, we were over by your old studio. There were a bunch of cops out in front. He was like, yeah, that sounds right. Million High 888. Does Jeremy live in Colorado now? I do. I live in Colorado right now. I don't know for how long, but I'm just so grateful to be here. I love being here. And I also kind of feel like I don't know how long I'll be here, and so I need to take advantage of all of the things that are in front of me right now. Because my life is so crazy. Like, if somebody said, hey, move to Australia and live here for 2 or 3 years, I could ask Linda and she would probably say yes. Like, that's how we've set up our life, is that we can say yes to things that other people can't say yes to. we might, I'm just throwing this out there, we might go live in Australia and New Zealand for a little bit. I'm not going to be able to do these snow cruises. If we're living in Sydney or in Melbourne, I don't think we're going to be able to do a lot of snow cruises. So I'm happy that we can add some variety right now. Susan, you seem so happy and relaxed. I feel very relaxed. This building right here, this is one of the most famous buildings on the Denver skyline. People call it the cash register building. You can see how it kind of arcs up like this, like a wave, and then flattens. Whenever you're looking at the Denver skyline, that's kind of what you look for to say, oh, okay, that's Denver. You look for that cash register building, or I do. Also, Linda hasn't adjusted yet to always knowing where north, south, east, and west are, but in Denver, the mountains are due west. So you can always kind of know, like, okay, the mountains are behind me, that's west. So since we're going the opposite direction, we're facing east. Norman Patterson, love your neighbor. Hey, thank you so much. Norman Patterson, that's dope. Thank you very much. That's an awesome message too. I can't justify not living here in this exact moment because we've just found so much happiness here. I've reconnected with a lot of my friends that are probably lifers. I don't see them ever living anywhere else. It's fun for me to go see other people being happy and then see what parts of that. And one of the things was snowboarding. I had friends that were getting in like 30 or 40 days of snowboarding a season. And I was getting in like 4 days of snowboarding season. That was one of the goals. Oh, that security guard was smoking a blunt. That was one of the goals in moving out here, was to actually have a real winter. And I feel like we have had a real winter so far. We're probably only halfway through it. To the right is the good times that Linda and I went to last weekend for the cheese curds. Somebody's probably wondering, like, why is he driving down the same area that we were in last weekend? This is sort of the lit area. I try to be in the spots that have the most street lights. The one comment that I made to Linda earlier this week, I don't think I've even seen any, but that's something in LA that I never got used to. I was like, why are there so many, like there were entire neighborhoods that looked like they didn't have any working street or light bulbs on the street lights. That really doesn't happen here that I've seen. Some music for Shannon. What up, Shannon? Oh, and that's one of the other things I miss about LA. Linda really misses all of the food. I miss the concerts. I think another reason I stayed in LA so long is when I first moved out there, I was just blown away at how many opportunities to go see live music there was. People that would tour from Europe or Japan, all parts of the world. If they came to the United States to play, they would probably stop in LA. Pretty safe bet. So I saw a lot of people that I really wanted to see. I also kind of feel like they put on a better show in LA because they just knew that it was going to be epic. I like this, it's a bear kind of in like a Snoopy pose. See if I can get his feet. Oh yeah, right there. That's another reason why I don't think I'll ever be done with LA. I just will always go back there for the friends, the music, the food, the palm trees. Maybe catch like a An Angels game with the homies. Oh, look at this. Drive-through liquor right here. When I was growing up, see how it says Scooter Liquors and this person's at the drive-through? When I was growing up, we would always try to pick up somebody's older sibling to buy us liquor. And all they had to do was be in the car. So let's say that somebody's older sister or whatever is in the back seat. She would pass up her ID. We would give it to the person. And then the person would be like, all right, what would you like? We'd say, we want a bottle of Alizé. We want some Aftershock. We want some butter shots. And then usually the going rate for an older kid to buy younger kids liquor was one item. And at the time we would designate that as like, all right, we'll buy you one thing that's around $10. And so whoever was hooking us up would kind of be like, okay, and then I also want to add this to the order. I don't drink, so I wasn't really ordering anything. At the time, that was when they had like Zima and wine coolers and stuff like that. I would maybe sip on one Zima and not even get through the neck of it. So yeah, I wasn't hurting anybody on liquor. But it was just so funny because I thought drive-through liquor like this was everywhere. And then I moved to California that I know of. I'm not saying they don't have it, but I'm just saying it wasn't prevalent. Here, it's everywhere. And it's just kind of a normal thing. Like people are like, yeah, we'll just go through the drive-through liquor. Sometimes banks will go out of business in places that have drive-throughs. You'll see a liquor store pop up in there. Yeah, we used, in high school, that's when Aftershock first came out. I don't know if anybody remembers like the crystals that were at the bottom. There was a cinnamon one that was red, and then there was a blue one. I think the blue one was Aftershock. And the red one, I don't remember what it was. I want to say like Earthquake or something like that. Is it raining in LA? That's awesome. That makes me happy. Here's Illegal Pete's on the left. LA really is desperate for that rain. I hope they get a lot of rain. One of my favorite music producers. So two of my favorite music producers of all time, Jay Dilla, his name's James Yancey. He passed away in like 2008, 2009, around then. He and another producer, ooh, look at this bowl here on the right. He and another producer that worked together, his name was Madlib. He's worked with all kinds of people. DJ Premier, Tribe Called Quest, a lot of legends. His home burned up in the Pacific Palisades fire. He lost thousands of records, probably like tens of thousands of records, but then also all of his music production equipment as well as hard drives. I can't even imagine what the total loss on that was. I liked the red. Oh, me too. If you don't know about Madlib and Jay Dilla did a album together called J-Lib. Jay Dilla and Madlib. And the song on there, The Red, that was one of my favorite songs when that came out. And then one of my favorite things to do early 2000s, like 2006, 2007, on the weekends, I would go to this place on Hollywood Boulevard called the Knitting Factory. It was kind of up by Chinese Grauman Theater. It was just a little bit west of that, like a block west. If anybody knows where that CVS is right there, it was right behind the CVS. That was one of the best times of my life. And one of the things I just remember feeling so thankful to be there. A lot of the kids I was hanging out with were from LA, and in my mind, they didn't realize how good they had it. Like, they didn't realize how unique of a place LA was and the things that we were doing, like how unique it was. that's sort of how I feel about being back in Denver right now. I feel so appreciative to be back here and lucky. If I would have felt like that earlier, I probably would have come back earlier. But yeah, I remember feeling like that when I first got out to California. And then people saying like, oh, you've never been to the Greek Theater? You've never been to Halloween Horror Nights? Oh, you've never been to the Hollywood Bowl? It was all of these things that people were like, oh my gosh, you haven't even lived in LA long enough to know what some of this stuff is. I went to my first K-Rock weenie roast back when Rob Zombie was still back here. I feel very lucky to be back. And that, when people say like, oh, you're playing pickleball tonight? Boring. No, thank you. I understand. Like, when people say that, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I get why they're saying that. But I wouldn't trade this level of peacefulness that I have right now. I wouldn't trade it for 7 digits worth of money. It's priceless. It's going to be really hard for me to give it up. But I'm here just to have a good experience and then look for the next good experience. So that was the goal. When I was talking to my wife, I was like, you know what? We hang out in Denver a lot, but we live in LA. Why don't we live in Colorado and then hang out in Southern California a lot? And so that's what we decided to do. We just decided to tip the teeter-totter the other way. Home base here for a little bit, but then visit. Ooh, look at the roof right here. It's called Lilac. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this next LA trip. It's hard to find the times to stream because when I'm back there, I'm sure people are like rubbing their hands together like, all right, we're back, let's get it. But I have so much to do when I go back now. Look at the name of this ice cream spot. Nugs. There's a lot of great art here. One of the things I like about Boulder is a really big college town. A lot of good art. I like being in Boulder when there's severe weather because it feels like you're kind of trapped there in a good way. I like Denver alleys too. Jeremy, they still have Mo. Do they? Jeremy, do they still have Mo? Mo. The only Mo that's coming to my mind right now is Mo Sislak. Oh, Mo's Bagels in Boulder. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know, no Mo. Linda watches Simpsons every day, so anytime I hear Mo, I think of Mo Sislak with the flaming Mo. We used to cruise around town, meet up with friends, and party. So the memories that I have of growing up here, I was always the one driving. Even in high school, I didn't drink. I've only been drunk like 3 or 4 times in my entire life. I rarely ever even drink at all. If I do drink, it'll be 1 drink or half a drink. I was always the one driving. And it was always fun for me, driving everybody else's car. Getting pulled over a lot. I remember getting pulled over a lot. And back in the 90s, they would have these little straws, these white straws that they would put on top of the breathalyzer. And then after I'd get pulled over and the cops would give me the breathalyzer, I'd say, hey, can I have that straw? And then they'd be like, yeah, you know, we're just going to throw it away anyway. Here, you know, we didn't know you wanted it. Here you go. And then the next time I would get pulled over, as I rolled down the window, I would hold out a handful of like 2 or 3 straws. And then most of the time, the cop would come up to me and laugh and been like, so you've been pulled over already tonight? I'd be like, yeah. Hold on real quick. Okay, we're gonna do some snow driving here. So that main road that we were on, that was Colfax, but now we're kind of more in the neighborhoods. Skylar Smith, where did you go to high school? I went to North Glen High School, which is in the suburbs of North Denver. So it's kind of by Westminster, Thornton. Yeah, it's in that area. All right, this is actually what I wanted to be doing. I wanted to kind of cruise around in some of these packed snow neighborhoods and show you what, when I think of downtown Denver, I think of this house right here. It's a lot of these small little brick houses that looks like they were built in the 50s or something. These, to me, these are very typical Denver, downtown Denver houses. This actually looks like Minneapolis to me, like St. Paul, downtown Minneapolis. Kind of looks like this too. A lot of brick. I know what all of these basements smell like. They smell like there was mildew at some point, but they probably cleaned it up. If you blindfolded me and took me into somebody's basement, I would know right away that we were in a basement. I've got to be careful. There are a lot of one-way streets down here. Here's Grape Street. That means something different in LA. So to even go back a calendar year ago, my phone would be constantly blowing up with, oh, there was a major accident in Orange County. Now there's a major accident in LA. Oh, there's a huge fire in the Inland Empire. Oh, there's a car chase coming up from San Diego that's about to go into Orange County. I was just constantly inundated with alerts of like tragic stuff that was going on. At first, I was labeling that as excitement. I was like, ooh, I know about it. Kind of felt like I was Spider-Man or something. I'm like, I know of all of the things going on at the city in real time. One of the best things that happened to me in the last 6 months or so was camping with Linda in August and then going airplane mode on my phone, enjoying the quietness of the night. There's a really cool night sound in Colorado, and especially when it snows. I read that when the snow's falling, there's a lot of air pockets in the snow, and that's why it sounds really silent, because it's kind of sound dampening. I was able to turn off all of my scanner apps, all of my LAFD alerts, all of that stuff. And instead of listening to scanners, which I had been doing for like 7 years straight, being informed about all that stuff that was going on, I thought that I would miss it. I didn't end up missing it at all. And then I started listening to more music. Philbo, what up? T. Lucero, what up? And that was one of the things I had to recognize in maybe November. I'm like, wow, I'm listening to so much more music than I'm used to. Because before I was always listening to the scanners. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like doing that. When I go back to LA and I have the LA cruise and we're looking for crime kind of like we used to, I will still have fun doing that. That's something that I'm still interested in. I'm just not interested in doing it full time right now. And that is something that I'm actually happy to find out, that there are things that I like that are interesting me more than that. Whereas 5 or 6 years ago, that was my peak interest. I wanted to go see that stuff. I remember seeing my first flipped semi truck and just kind of standing there with my mouth open like, what the heck? Flipped over semi truck. One of the flipping, they had to get these bobcats, like these little construction looking scooper bobcats, to go into the flipped semi truck and get this jicama out so that when they flipped the semi, it didn't just do like another flip and flip over on its other side because of what was inside, like what they were transporting. And that night I stood, oh, there's a dude here. Hold on, I'll show you. This dude's wearing Grateful Dead Avalanche stuff, like barely snow stuff. That night, I watched them drive this bobcat into the semi that was on its side, scoop up the jicama, drive out, and they were dumping it on the side of the road. This is, I think, off the 5 in Orange County, kind of like Aliso Viejo, like in that area. So I was like, oh, I've already gotten these shots from the ground. I already have the shots of them driving in and out of the semi. I'm going to go get up on the hill and get the shot looking down. So I walk up on the hill. I'm up on top. And I'm just kind of like looking all around me. There were rats. There were rats running all around my feet. Whatever bumbly brush and stuff was on the side of the road, rats. And then the rats were going and getting in the jicama because I guess they can't sell it after it's already been through something like that. So they were just discarding it on the side of the road. Rats everywhere. And that was one of the reasons when I went to go chase calls after that, I was like, I need shoes that I don't care about, because all of these different shoe choices that I had, they were not rat ready. Hey, what up? John Hicks is in here. What up, bro? I was actually just watching a John Hicks video earlier today. He was unboxing the new E-Ride Pro. I don't remember. It was like a smaller version of his latest videos on the E-Ride Pro. It looks really cool. And then also, I was on his channel. He has some videos that went super viral from the Pacific Palisades fire. I'm pretty sure out of all the different videos I've seen, he has the most informative videos, just kind of cruising around through those neighborhoods. I'm very thankful for his channel. He's got one of the coolest channels on YouTube, in my opinion. Please go throw him a sub. Please go check it out. John Hicks Film on YouTube. I can't ever remember if it's films or film. Hopefully it's film. We're in downtown Denver. And since John's in here, I'll try to find, here, let's go down this alley. I'll try to find some snow and we can get squirrely. All right. We'll find some parking lots and we'll try to find some places that we can get sideways in the snow. Ooh. I am planning an LA trip soon. If I'm lucky, then I'll get to see John on that trip. Maybe have some tacos. Let me know in the chat if you think that John should come visit me out here. I'm pretty sure I could show him a good time. A few months ago, I didn't feel like a local. Now I sort of do. All right, we're gonna get squirrely in this neighborhood over here. This is for John. See how big this is? See the opening? Linda was doing this earlier in a parking lot. She scared me. I was like, where did you learn how to do that? She's like, just from watching you. I was like, that's kind of bad. I have new snow tires on this vehicle that are really getting it done. My old tires were flat. These new ones have some teeth. just have to make sure that we're not hitting the parked cars. The other thing, snow will really cover a lot. And so you could be like getting sideways in a parking lot, and then all of a sudden there's just a parking piece of concrete or something that you didn't see. Oh, is this somebody's Christmas tree? It is. When I lived in LA, Linda and I lived in Little Armenia, and there was a Christmas tree that somebody put out in December. I think it was there for over 8 months. If you leave stuff out on the street in LA and just assume that the city will get tired of looking at it and take it, you're wrong. It'll just become part of the landscape in LA. Oh, I like the roof of this building. Look at this. That's cool. Oh, it's a church. So it is snowing. Not a lot, but it's mostly just blowing. But LA looks so clean. The one thing that LA has over New York, way less rats. My cousin used to live in New York. I would go visit him a lot, and on the trash days, let's say it's Friday, they will have like a 1-story stack of trash with rats running all through the trash. Healthy rats. And very healthy cockroaches. I'm not missing either of those. Karen Bass does good. No politics here. There's a lot of politics that I didn't love in California, but I always tell people, like, why do you think so many people live there? There has to be so many good things that people are thinking outweigh the bad things. There's a lot of good things happening, especially in LA. It's a fun place to live. I think I'm fortunate to have lived there in my 20s. I had a lot of fun in my 20s. I had a lot of fun in my 30s. In my 40s, I'm valuing peacefulness way more than I ever have before. And that's what this place like connected me to. It's very low key, easy. When you go snowboarding, are you going to do videos? Yeah, so that's a good question. When I snowboard, I have some action cameras on me. When I come back to look at the videos, the thing that I've determined most of all is I don't think people are gonna enjoy watching these videos. It's not me doing like crazy tricks. It's basically me just riding. And I don't think a lot of people are going to want to watch a video of that. I would watch it because I want to relive the memory, but I don't know if it's sharing quality. But that's also yet. I like to film snowboarding when it's a little bit warmer. The spring conditions, when it kind of gets slushy and it's warm enough that you can wear sweatshirts instead of your big Gucci. Probably saw through that immediately, but I said I need a new snowboard. I ordered a snowboard, and the first one I ordered was like a park trick snowboard, and I set it up. I had it sitting in the living room so I could stare at it a lot, and then I realized, I was like, I'm gonna get eaten alive riding all mountain on a park board. Like, this is a trick board that I'm gonna try to take into the backcountry. I'm gonna die. So then I ordered a second board that was an all mountain board, and I had both of them sitting in my bedroom so I could wake up in the morning, have that be the first thing I saw when my eyes focused. And then Linda said, when are you gonna return that first snowboard? I was like, I'm actually thinking about keeping both. She's like, no, pick one. I'm like, I just can't choose. It's like two kids. They're just so different. Like one has a specific purpose. Now that I'm thinking about it, that was a very similar conversation I had to her. She's like, did I just see another bike in the garage? I'm like, yeah. She's like, is that 4 bikes? Like, why do you need 4 bikes? I'm like, well, this bike is for the pump track. And then this bike is the mountain bike for doing, you know, trails. But then this bike is the cruiser bike. She's like, no, you don't need all these specific. And I'm like, yeah, but I do. She's like, no, you don't. Well, I still have all 4 bikes in my garage. I still have both snowboards. She brings it up a lot when I get in trouble. She's like, you didn't need all that. In my mind, I still do. I still need it. And I still need to justify to her, like, see, I can't take an all mountain board into the snowboard park, but I can take this one in there. I can't take a snowboard pipe board onto the all mountain backcountry stuff. In my head, it makes sense. In her mind, she's just like, dude doesn't think about credit card bills. He's thinking about like doing tricks in the snowboarding part. Shout out to Linda. I found somebody that can put up with my all my equipment choices. That's probably one of the worst things about being in a relationship with me is I need all this specific gear. And in my head, like I actually need it. Like, oh, these are my gloves that have built-in wrist guards, but then these are my mittens that are super warm. In my head, it all makes sense. And probably to people that are friends with me that do the same thing, it makes sense to them. To Linda, she's just like, bro, you need to freeze your credit cards and then ask me if it's time to thaw them out. Should never happen. That's cool that John Hicks is hanging out in here. Shout out to John. What up, John B? We got a couple Johns in here right now. All right, let's try to find something new. Oh, there might have been a crash right here. Oh, fresh crash. No. This looks like somebody helping this guy in the wheelchair. Look, I have the window down right here. Earlier, I was at Walmart and I watched this dude collecting the carts, and then he was pushing them back. He had like 6 carts. He was leaning all the way forward trying to push these carts. And that I was feeling very appreciative because I'm like, I like having seasons. That was one of the things that kind of made me mad about relocating full-time to California. I like being in seasons. Look, both these dudes have their lights off. That van and this guy. I bet we can get this guy to turn them on. What do you think? He's in a... Oh, I thought that was a Saturn SUV for a second. I just used to have that be my internal clock. Like, okay, it's January. For the next couple months, I'm going to have overalls and boots and wool socks and then, you know, April, May, you take a big bin and you put all that stuff away because you don't need it anymore. And then you take out your fishing stuff and your summer stuff. I like that. I like changing the seasons. It lets me know where I'm at in the year. In California, it was just kind of like, oh, it's gonna be gray and gloomy for a couple months. That must mean it's winter. Still cool. I mean, you could always go out and jog and ride scooters and e-bikes and whatever. I guess the e-bike dream is kind of coming to an end in California. I knew they would get wise to how powerful those bikes were and what a complicated thing that would be if anybody, like if the criminal element started using those to do GTA style missions on those bikes. I think it was either last week or the week before, I saw a big police chase that had ATVs and dirt bikes and whatever. I think the reason that happens a lot in LA is they'll listen to the scanners and hear the cops being like, yeah, we just want to disperse this group. Like, we're not trying to corral them in or make arrests or ticket people. We just want them to leave. And then the kids are like, cool. They're just going to like surround us, tell us to knock it off, and then we will knock it off for 7 minutes until we do it again. In Denver, they have like the disgruntled cops that have been around for a long time that are quick to ticket. Okay, I am now recognizing where we are, and it's way further out than I thought we were going to be. Hold on. I need to whip us back around real quick. Oh, we're not that far out. And past this. I like being out. I've always been a fan of severe weather. When I was growing up in Iowa, so I went to elementary school in Iowa, and I remember being in the closet with a bunch of canned food, hearing tornado sirens. We had a really big ice storm when I was a kid. It rained everywhere and put lots of, well, I think it was like a day when we just had sleet. If anybody knows what sleet is, it's like thick, slurpy, slushy ice. It put this layer of ice on everything, and then it got really cold. And I was like, oh, cool, that's gonna make sledding off the hook. Well, what it really did was it weighed down all of these trees, and the trees were bending and falling onto power lines. We had this epic tree in our backyard that split down the middle. That was heartbreaking. That changed like the whole aesthetic of our backyard at the time. I remember people were out on ladders with extension cords and hair dryers trying to knock the ice off of trees and melt the ice off of trees so that they didn't weigh down, get heavy, and snap. That's just something that people deal with there that, you know, California, I don't want to say all of California doesn't deal with that, because I have friends that live in the Tahoe area. Obviously, people that live in Big Bear, Mammoth, they deal with stuff like that, but I've always been a fan of severe weather. Even if it's scary severe weather, I still like it. I watch a couple of these storm chaser guys. I think they have really cool channels. They'll drive and be in this area where this severe weather is firing. This is a pot shop right here. It's called Spark. Tons of these in Denver. Recreational and medical. Love Reed Timmer. Reed's pretty cool. I like Vince. I think Vince is cool. Can I get it? Oh, I can't get on the highway. Hold on, I need to turn around. Where I grew up in, ooh, this is kind of in a ditch a little bit. Where I grew up in Iowa, it's this town called Winterset. That's where I was born. Oh, they might have a drive-through at this. Let's go through the wrong way. I think they do. I think this is a recreational pot shop with a drive-through. That's cool. Hold on, let me go a little wider. Can you hear the snow under the tires? It's like crunchy because it's so packed. Is Linda in here? What up, Linda? What up, Amy, Todd, Norman, Wade? Grab a few grams for the road. I'm pretty sure we have some in the medicine cabinet at home. Look at this one. SK216, what up? These are beautiful murals on brick. And people are being pretty respectful not to go over it. This is good art. Hello, how are you doing this Saturday evening in Denver, Colorado? Jeremy Reed, what up? I'm doing great. I was going to do a home stream tonight. That's what I was teasing everybody with all week. And then at the last minute, I was like, you know what? I think I'd rather drive around. Even though I said we're gonna be at home, I think I'd rather get in the car. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm making decisions based on my highest level of excitement. And that's the life lesson that if you learn anything from me, I want you to take that away. Ask yourself what the highest level of excitement is going to be for you personally, and just pursue that. And then recheck in. Is this still the highest level? Oh, this other thing moved from third place into first place. Take advantage of that. Like, ask yourself truly, like, what would be the highest level of excitement for me? Do I want to keep doing what's expected? Do I want to keep doing what I have gotten used to and I'm comfortable with? Do I want to step outside my comfort zone? Do I not want to step outside my comfort zone? I think that's one of the secrets to the success that I've had recently is constant check-ins with myself and then renegotiating based on how it changes. Well, you know what? I'd actually rather drive tonight. Even though I said I was going to stay home, I think I can switch it, and I did. And that's what I'm going to continue to do for the rest of this year, probably even longer. Oh, this is a big tunnel right here. Look at the fans on top that try to blow out the exhaust. Sometimes it's really slippery. Brandon Beasley, is there going to be a Denver meet and greet? There is. I'm hopefully going to have some info on that in February. So next weekend, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Utah, snowboarding with the bros. When I come back, I'm going to do a couple streams from home, and then hopefully I'll have some info on when we can have a little meetup at Putt Shack. I already know where it's going to be. It's going to be at Putt Shack in Denver. I just don't know when we're going to be able to reserve it. Jeremy, do the essential workers wear snow pants and parks when it's cold and snowing hard? So here's the Western Stock Show, if anybody's ever heard of that. It's going on right now. Denver does not have the essential worker scene that LA does. The spots where you can find that in Denver, it's off of Colfax. So that main road that we were just on, Colfax Avenue, That's where the ladies of the night are looking for love. It's nowhere near what's happening in LA. Not even close. Okay, hold on. I need to make this turn. I could easily mess this up. I want to go south. Hold on. Let me make sure that I do this exit correctly. Car wrap on that. Seems like it's tripled in size. Okay, we made it. So now we're heading back into downtown, but I'm gonna take us over by Coors Field. Was anybody in the chat last weekend when I drove around with Linda? I don't think people appreciate how rare that is. She only gets to hang out on the weekends. She works really hard during the week. And so for her to come out with me and not be at home with the cat, playing with Legos, watching horror movies. Anybody that hung out with us last weekend, you get to see what her personality is like. She's so fun to hang out with. I don't think you'll ever meet anybody like her. She's such a unique person, and she doesn't hang out with that many people. That's why when I do get to share her with this community, I don't think they're realizing how rare that is. Like, she just doesn't. She's very private. She hangs out with a small group of people. She values her privacy a lot. And so, yeah, I'm appreciative of when she does come to hang out, because I know that it's like a shooting star. It's not something that we have all the time. Pete's Kitchen, we passed that earlier. That was on Colfax. On the right, that's Coors Field where the Rockies play. I don't know what's happening there, but on my way into the city earlier, they had the big purple Rockies sign lit up. And I tried to look into the stadium to see if they actually had something going on. It didn't look like there were a lot of people in there. Oh, there you can see it. Hold on. Oh, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Oh, right there, Rockies. I still want to bring Shannon Hansen and Mama Hill here to watch a game. Shannon and Mama Hill both took me to see some Angels games. Erica was in here. What up, Erica? You were in here last weekend? That's awesome. What are you up to this weekend? My wife, myself are watching your live stream with Linda Reed last week in Mexico. Oh, nice. So yeah, this is where the Colorado baseball team plays, the Rockies. Not the most winningest. I don't know how to say. Not a team that is used to being on the podium, getting trophies. We're like the wrestler that's already in the ring. When the good wrestler comes out and just dominates the person already in the ring, that's the Rockies. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I like seeing all live sports. So, I mean, if you invite me to a live sporting event, I'm probably going to say yes. If I don't have something scheduled, I'm going to try to say yes. Okay, you can see that they've cleaned up the streets a lot here compared to the residential areas. I can't wait till it warms up and I can get on my e-bike and do a couple e-bike tours down here. Also, if you're, see, this guy wants to, oh, I thought he was gonna walk in the road. Earlier, there was a dude walking in the road because the sidewalk hadn't been scooped yet. you come to New Zealand, you'll have to come to a rugby game and watch the All Blacks. That'd be cool. Linda and I have been getting some instruction, and one of the teachers that's been showing us some pickleball stuff, he's an ex-rugby official. It looks like his nose has been broken in the double, maybe even triple digits, which is, when I think of a rugby player, I think of like many relocations on the nose. Look, this girl's selling bacon wrapped hot dogs outside of the club. This club's called The Summit. I can tell how old this girl is by the fact that she's like, oh, I'm going out tonight. I'll wear my best PJ bottoms. Like, that's how you know when it's a millennial. Is that? Yeah. That's how you know when it's somebody younger than myself. When they just go out for the night wearing PJs. If I ever need to look young for any reason, I'll just wear whatever I wear to wake up. I'll wear that out to dinner. People will be like, is this a young dude? His outfit is screaming that he graduated in the 2000s. And then I take off my hat and I'm bald and they're like, whoa, dude just aged 70 years right before our eyes right here. Now, take note. Oh, this girl has a dress on the left. Take note of how empty it. Oh, this girl has a. Look at what this girl's wearing. She's going clubbing tonight. You guys can go. That's what they're wearing for the night. Oh, this guy was looking and he almost slipped and fell. Those girls were just wearing little cocktail dresses. Oh, and I found the cowgirls right here. Right here in front of Dirk's Bentley. Oh, and look here, the cowboy. There are 3 cowgirls and then 3 cowboys right here. Oh, look at the sparklers inside. Somebody bought a bottle. Oh, and this is a cop crossing the road right here. These are officers on the other side of the road as well. 3 single cowgirls and then maybe 3 single cowboys. Hey, Zach Stuff. Thank you, bro. Zach Stuff, I appreciate that. Good to see you, man. I'll show you what I'm carrying tonight in my pocket. I've got a stormtrooper knife on me right now. And what can I pull over? I'll try to show you at this light without freaking anybody out. So this is the knife that I'm carrying tonight. It's an auto. It's called a Boker. I love the spring on it. Here, let me try not to hurt myself live. I'm carrying this one in the snow. It's whenever I have a lot of white and black on, I like this one. I have enough knives that I match the outfit to the knife, and then Linda makes fun of me. She's like, who's that for? Is that for Zach Stuff? She's actually said that before. Is that for Zach Stuff? I'm like, yeah. If nobody else, it's for myself and Zach Stuff. Just the 2 of us. Anybody else that cares beyond that, that's just extra. For Christmas, I was giving some of my nephews some of my older pocket knives. I have a lot of knives, and so I started to kind of gift them to the people that I love. And we were at Christmas and somebody had a tag on something, and I go, oh, wouldn't that be cool if one of us had a knife, we could help you with that tag. And then like 4 dudes just ka-ching, like opened their pocket knife, and it was all knives that I'd given to people. Why are there people just standing in the... Oh. These people are just standing in the lane for some reason. I actually felt like I needed to have a knife in my pocket in LA just in case something sketchy happened. Here in Colorado, it's more for like opening a package or something. It's not really for protection. Okay, this in front of me, this is called Larimer Square. Linda and I were here on Thursday. Half block left is where we saw Phil Hanley, one of our favorite comedians. So I think my 2 favorite comedians right now, like touring comedians, one of them, his name is Jeffrey Asmus, A-S-M-U-S. If you don't know about him, look him up. Jeffrey with a G, Jeffrey Asmus. I think he's one of the most brilliant comics that I'm even aware of. He's so on his game right now. And then Linda and I really like this guy named Phil Hanley. And we've seen pretty much every comedian that we like. We've seen Dave Chappelle so many times, Adam Ray so many times. But we had never seen Phil Hanley live. He's a Canadian. And we saw him on Thursday. It was an amazing show. We saw Jeffrey Asmus at the Brea Improv in Orange County. That was last year. That was a really good show. That's one of the things I love about Linda. She's always down to go see comedy. And she's always down to watch a comedy. Let me know in the chat. She was all stoked that Mr. Deeds, the Adam Sandler movie, it's on some streaming platform that we have. And she was like, oh, Mr. Deeds is on here. I don't like Mr. Deeds. I like Adam Sandler a lot, but I like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. I like those old school Adam Sandler movies. I'm not a Mr. Deeds guy. I'm not a Little Nicky guy. There were some air balls in there in my mind, but not to Linda. She celebrates the whole catalog. What do you guys think? Do you like Mr. Deeds? That was a super cool way to continue the journey. Norman Patterson. Oh, I missed the first part of that. Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn right here. Got flashed. So this is right in front of the train station, Union Station. Earlier in the month when they had this Western stock show, they had a bunch, like the road that we're on right now, they had a bunch of steer running down the road with these huge antlers, huge, like dinosaur looking, well, it's longhorn steer. But yeah, the picture of them all running down the road right there was pretty epic. This in the summertime, this is one of those areas where there's water jets coming out. Oh, look at what this dude has. What is this? He had, you know how like an 80s hobo would have like a stick with like a handkerchief tied to the end of it? He had a huge 2x4 looking thing with a trash bag tied to the end of it. It was like Hacksaw Jim Duggan style. Hey-o! Does anybody remember him? Hacksaw Jim Duggan, early WWF guy. Carried a 2x4. Beating up the wrestler that's already in the ring. Ooh, I see the cops rolling up here. Does anybody remember Bobby the Brain Heenan? Was it Bobby the Brain Heenan? Pam Garza, what up? Thomas L, what up? USA, yep. Ducky, I got to see him live once, but unfortunately, he was in the bitter old man stage of his career. Who's that? I missed the first part of that. Bitter old man stage. George Carlin? I think he was permanently in bitter old man stage, so maybe not him. This bridge in front of us, this is an old school Denver bridge. We can take the e-bike and the scooter on that. And we will. Whoa! I really don't want to wreck on a live stream. I don't want to wreck, period, but I would really like to not wreck on a live stream. Well, I should say I don't want to wreck again on a live stream. I've had several live crashes. Oh, let me get out of this lane. I think maybe whatever happened at Ball Arena probably just let out. Was anybody watching my live stream the night that I rear-ended a guy driving a BMW in downtown LA? There were people in the chat saying, Jeremy's following this guy too close. And then I ended up like inching forward and just tapping this dude. It wasn't super hard. He got out, he looked at it, he was like, it's not that big of a deal. And then he was like, we can just leave. And then he started walking away and I called him back over. I was like, no. I owe you a hug, bro. And then we did like a human to human hug. Yeah, I'm seeing people walking. I think they're leaving Ball Arena. Whatever they just saw there, I hope Denver won. And yeah, we want to go straight to here. Norman Patterson, I just Googled it, Chicago Club. How do you get in? Don't ask. How tough is it to join? In a word, very. I don't know what the beginning of that conversation was. Chicago used to have a Playboy Club. I watched a documentary. Oh, we're gonna go straight. There's some police activity happening up here. And by police activity, it's probably just like they're buying a bacon wrapped hot dog or something. I don't think it's something serious. But they are right here. This is the Orchid. Look at their SUV. It looks like they're inside of there. So yeah, even when I see the blue and reds, I don't automatically think something's really happening. Joe Lee, what up? We haven't been to San Francisco in a while. Ted DiBiase Sr. I remember Ted DiBiase and Virgil. I actually saw something on Ravishing Rick Rude last week. Hey! Thank you, Ellie, for making 10 new members in here. Yeah. Oh, I can't do my zoom in thing on this phone. It switches to a different camera. I used to be able to do that like stuttery zoom in. It's only on my Android phone. The Apple phone tries to steal the camera. Like it'll go to the macro camera. Hold on. Let me know what this license plate says. GT8 Oys. It's a Texas plate. GT Boys. I think it's GT Boys, but instead of a B, it's an 8. And this is 17th Street. Oh, look at the person on the scooter. We saw somebody wreck a scooter last weekend. This lady in a cowboy hat was going fast, and then she ended up getting sideways on the scooter. I kind of want to see this dude take off the line. All right, bro. Show us what you got. Jump it. Jump it. This area to the right, Tabor Square. I don't know if I'm even in the lane right here. Needs snow tires on it. So on Temu, I saw them selling zip ties, and they were like, oh, this is basically what you need to ride your scooter in the snow. They were selling zip ties and saying, yeah, just put these on your tire and this is how you get traction. I'm sure a lot of people bought that too. But that's a good tip for anybody. If you are experiencing tires that are just not getting any traction, try some zip ties. Has Jeremy mentioned if he's gonna do any live streams from LA soon? David Beach. I don't know if I mentioned it tonight. I am going to be doing LA live streams soon. If I had to guess, I would say February, March is when the next one's gonna happen. But February, the end of February is my birthday, and I try to prioritize the snowboarding because that's when the snow is usually the best in Utah, Colorado, Bryan's Head, Nevada. Is Bryan's Head in Nevada or is that Utah? I think it's Nevada. Last time I was in Bryan's Head, there was actually too much snow. There was like waist deep snow. And we were like, oh, this is going to be the best day ever. There was actually too much snow to ride. And we tried anyway. There's a place here in southern Colorado called Wolf Creek. It's like Wolf Creek, Telluride, Purgatory, some of these southern resorts. They get too much snow. Like, you'll think, oh, this is going to be the best day ever. And then you can't even ride it because there's too much snow. I've seen that happen a lot. Last time I was at Bryan's Head, that was the case. Oh, I missed it. There was a girl in some skirt-looking leggings over there. I think I'm gonna go snowboarding, maybe Vail next week. And then next weekend, I'll be in Park City. So I doubt there'll be a live stream next weekend. I don't know for sure. I kind of hope there's not. If there's not a live stream next weekend, then that means I'm relaxing with the homies. But there's an off chance that I might just light it up, walk around. It depends on what the signal's like. Park City is like 30 minutes away from Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City has decent reception. Park City is kind of locked into the snow, like it's in the mountains. I don't like live streaming if there's a sketchy signal. I'm live streaming tonight in 720p, and that's about as low as I'll even do it. I won't even light up a stream if it's 480. 720 is just barely HD. start a channel that's just Linda's reactions. That would be such a cool channel. I think she might get too popular though. A lot of showing Linda on camera is a threat, because if people hung out with her as much as I do, she would just be way too popular. And then we wouldn't be able to go anywhere. The last part of us living in Southern California, we started getting recognized a lot. This lady in the booth next to us just sat and stared at us like it was a movie. She just, no expression on her face, just stared at us the whole time. I don't think I'll ever want to be famous. Like, it seems like it would be a fun thing, and then when you actually experience it, even on the lower levels, it's not fun. Ask anybody that even has like a little bit of recognizability, like, it's just not fun. It seems like it would be, it's not. What is this up here? This looks like anime. Is this a YouTube channel? Does anybody know what that is? I'm even more confused after the zoom in. Brian said Utah 10,000 feet elevation. Bubba, thank you. So Denver, the mile high city, 5,280 feet above sea level. There's several mountains that you can climb here that are over 14,000 feet. And that's something that people, when they move to Colorado, they want to hike 14ers. That's what they call it. Have you hiked all of the 14ers in Colorado? That means, like, have you been to the peaks that are above 14,000 feet? It's kind of difficult to breathe up there. The oxygen is a lot thinner. You have to be in decent cardio to do some of those hikes. But if you can get there, the view is just incredible. I think that's one of the things I'm looking forward to this summer. Number one is being the first goal. The second goal is to do a lot of downhill mountain biking at the resorts. So for instance, Vail has a lot of gondolas. Some people say gondola, some people say gondola. Either way, fun. Like, the views up there are incredible. They have lynx running around, the little cats, the lynx. You see all kinds of wildlife, moose, everything. So yeah, I'm excited to take Linda on some hikes. I'm excited to take her camping to some of these places that are the secret spots. We'll see if they're still secret or not. This area we're in right now, this brings up a lot of memories of me. I used to have some friends that lived in this area. There used to be some good record shops down here. The first pair of diamonds I ever bought was at a little DJ shop. And at the time, the needles are called Nightclub. So it was like a black needle with a yellow end, a yellow tip. And I just remember thinking, like, why would these be $100? I think it was $100. Counter was like, well, it's because there's diamonds in them. And I was like, is that normal? My grandma has a record player. I doubt hers has diamonds in it. And then as I got a little bit more mature in the DJ scene, I was like, okay, a lot of these needles have diamonds in them. Oh, are you gonna run the red? Oh, I thought he was gonna run it. This is a pizza place called Pie Hole. Oh no, are we buffering? These people just came from Pie Hole. Linda and I were at a bar the other night. We were getting food before the comedy show. There was like 6 people in the whole bar. And see these people walking into this area right now? It just feels like everything is spread out enough that You can find parking. When you get inside, there's room for you to be in there. Both of those things are not... Oh, that guy just ran a red arrow. Left on green arrow only. Yeah, that dude just broke the law right there. Thank you again, Ellie, for the gifted memberships. Glizzy Hendricks, what up? Tulia, what up? Oh, this dude just drove in the oncoming lane. Oh, and he's honking it. Oh, he was honking at the people that were blocking him. I was gonna say, that's bold to drive on the other side and then honk at people. Is everybody else just aware of that DJ needles have diamonds in them? Do drift, scare them away. Lucas. We'll be doing a little bit of drifting before the night's over. Soon you will need to mount a machine gun to the car. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. When I worked at X Games, so we used to have, when I worked at X Games in LA, the summer version of X Games, that was at Staples Center. That's what Crypto.com Arena used to be called. They were called Staples. We would, oh, am I buffering through here? After we had the event in LA, the next place that they got a lease was in Austin, Texas, and it was at this venue called COTA, C-O-T-A, Circuit of the Americas, and it's like a F-150 racing track in Austin. The very first year that I was there, obviously the crowd is filled with Texans that know Texas culture, and I'm coming from LA. I have family and friends in Texas, but I really wasn't like immersed in the culture the way that I was after the X Games events. They had this truck that pulled up, and on the back of the truck looked like a Mad Max style rocket launcher, and this is in the bed of the truck. Oh, like a rocket launcher, basically like a t-shirt cannon in the back of this truck. So on the side of the truck, it said Torchy's. That was the taco place that we passed earlier. It was called Torchy's Tacos. The side of the truck said Torchy's. They started launching burritos into the crowd from the back of the truck. Tho, tho, tho. And there were people just like with their hands up grabbing them like a t-shirt gun at a sporting event. My mind was blown. I was like, number one, who thought of that? Who thought of like, you know what we need? A burrito cannon. And then also like the truck pulls up, oh, over here, shoot a burrito over here. Did anybody even hear any of that? Maybe I buffered all through that story. Anyway, if you live in Texas, you already know what I'm talking about. We're missing half of what you're saying. Okay, what I was saying is, if you can even hear me right now, in Texas, when we had X Games in Austin, it was at this venue called Circuit of the Americas, COTA. And they had a truck that would pull up, and in the back of the truck, in the bed, they would have a burrito launcher. Tho, tho, tho. And they were shooting burritos into the crowd like they would shoot a t-shirt into the crowd at a sporting event. So instead of shooting, you know, garments of clothing like I'm used to seeing, that's a normal thing for me. They were shooting burritos. Oh my God. We just almost crashed right there. That dude slammed on the brakes. Ooh. They were shooting burritos into the crowd. And the place is called Torchy's. A place that we just passed over there. Cannon in the back of this truck. Thoo, thoo, thoo. Shooting burritos into the crowd. And people were like grabbing them like it's a normal thing. I'm looking around like, this is just something that happens in Texas. Also, a fun fact about that event, grasshoppers everywhere. Like my shoes were just covered with little grasshopper debris. Is it buffering a lot tonight? Maybe it's just this area. I think it might be just this area. We'll see. I think it was bad last time I was. Yeah, this is just a little bit south of downtown. I think there was some buffering last time I was over here. I'll try to stay in the skyscraper area. I think that's where we have the best reception. Texas is a wild place. I have a cousin that lives in Ohio. I think Ohio is similar to Texas in the way that they just allow a lot of open carrying of firearms. Even some things that are illegal, you really have to go above and beyond to actually get a ticket or get in trouble. Some of that stuff. I had an uncle that lived there most of his life, and he was telling me that in the 80s, they just allowed you to drink and drive a certain amount. Like if the cop pulled you over and said, "Have you been drinking?" You could be like, "Yeah." And the cop's like, "All right, have you just had a couple?" And you're like, "Yeah." And the cop's like, "All right, be safe." Different than how it is now. I think in Ohio you can just open. In California, if you want to carry an automatic knife, like a knife that pops out after you press a button, it has to be 2 inches or less. And then here in Colorado, it has to be 3 inches or less. So the knife that I showed you earlier, that black and white one, that's a 3-inch auto. That's illegal in California, but it's legal here in Colorado. And then my cousin visited at Christmas time, and he had this knife that was like huge. It almost looked like a sword, but it was an automatic knife. And he was like, "Yeah, there's no limit." I think he said it was called like constitutional carry or something like that. Look, double check everything that I'm saying as far as the laws on that. All right, I'm hoping that the reception's better over here. If you have a push button on a knife for it to be open, it seems like that's a manual knife, not automatic. No, so if you have a push button, that's considered automatic. And if you flip it out on your own, let's see if I have one in here. Bet I do. I usually have a bunch of knives in here. Oh yeah. So this is a different one. This is a Benchmade. This is an auto too. And this is a 3-inch auto. This is illegal in California. So to have it pop out like that, that's illegal in California, but not in Colorado. In Colorado, that's legal. The one that I used to carry, oh, look at this. Oh, I missed it. I'm missing it. Oh, I didn't get to it. We just missed I think it was an ambulance going down. The one that I used to carry in LA was a 2-inch auto. And then in the other pocket, I had a 3-inch manual. So the manual one did not pop out with a button. It was, you have to open it with your thumb. That you can have it be 3 inches. But in Colorado, I got to add 1 more inch. We're over by 16th Street Mall again. That's where this ambulance was cruising through. I love the people here in Denver. Like, I can't count how many times Linda will get in the car from doing some activity, and Linda will be like, people here are just so sickeningly nice. Like, just for any reason, people will just be kind to you. And then she was like, I see where you get it. She was like, sometimes she thinks that I'm too nice. She's like, she calls me Ned Flanders. She's like, you need to turn it down like 4 notches. But this is where I'm from. Like, this is kind of par for the course when you're here. The cop that's in front of us, it looks like they might have just went into the building on the left. This street's called Glenarm. We're on Glenarm and 15th. The big old RTD Slinky passing us right here too. Okay. You guys look while I drive. Oh yeah. They're putting somebody into an ambulance right here. Or no, they're getting the bed for the ambulance. And they're treating somebody that's in the lobby. I want to say the majority of the calls that I see are medical calls. Every once in a while we'll see like a false alarm fire call, but well, actually, so Linda is huge on Reddit. Like, Linda, she was always keeping me informed on all the stuff that was going on. Oh, look at the rickshaws right here. In Orange County, they would always have different crimes that would be reported on Reddit. That's how I find out about the stuff that's happening here in Denver. Linda will tell me, like, did you know somebody got stabbed last night downtown Denver? She'll know more than I do. All right, I'm gonna... Oh, the rickshaws took the alley right behind me. It's not that there's no crime here, it's just nowhere near the level that LA has. One of my friends was like, why don't you cover crime in Denver like you were doing in Southern California? The short answer to that is, number one, I'd rather listen to good music than scanners. That's the first notable thing. I'd much rather have music on. The second thing is, I just really like the wave of positivity that I'm experiencing right now. It was so difficult to go to some of these calls in LA and then try to stay upbeat or try to turn it into, like, look at the bright side of any of these things. It was difficult to do that. I found myself not being that intimidated by LA, and not because I'm tough or not because I'm a real man or any of those. None of those boxes are what led to that. I think it was just that I got desensitized over the years. Hey, somebody got stabbed at the end of the block. I'm like, I'll catch the next one. That's not a rare occurrence here. I'll get the next one. Look, the big bear has some dandruff. Let's go say hi. I don't know why, but whenever I check out this bear, I just automatically think of Jack and Neve. I think Neve looked up some stats on this bear, and so now this is like, every time I see this bear, I think of them. Let's come up with some names in the chat. What should we name this big blue bear? Isn't this a beautiful city? Especially when there's a little snow. Peeping Tom, I love that. That's gonna be hard to beat. That's great. Peeping Tom. Oh, this might be the thumbnail right here. What do you think? You're my boy, Blue. That's from Old School with Will Ferrell. You're my boy, Blue. Tom is a cat. Are you thinking about Tom and Jerry? Tom and Gerald the cat. We're gonna go under the legs here. There's some security guards trying to pass. We're in the nether regions, the Netherlands. That's what I call this area right here, the Netherlands. Deep in the nether regions. This looks like the New Jersey drones up here. Here's the region we were just in. Let's go back through the Netherlands here. Excuse me. Pardon me. My hiney's clean. I'm Charmin clean. If anybody's outside of the United States, there's this commercial here for Charmin toilet paper. And it's these dancing bears, and the banter between the bears are them saying, my hiney's clean. I'm Charmin clean. I like it. I like it when people say hiney. Actually, that's in a Weezer song. It's like somebody's hiney crowding my icebox. My hiney's clean. I saw some. Oh, that was when I was with the stream in West Hollywood over Halloween. We were walking around on Santa Monica, and I saw some Teletubbies. Maybe that was here in Colorado. Anyway, I saw some Teletubbies, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, you're the Charmin bears. And they're like, what's that mean? I was like, oh, aren't you the Charmin bears from the commercial? They're like, no, we're Teletubbies. I was like, oh, okay. Love Weezer hash pipe. Yeah. You got your big cheese. I got my hash pipe. Who do we still have in here? Michelle H is in here. Mr. Jesus, Norman, Tark. Let's let this dude go out. Got you. Ellie is still in here. Bliss of the Apocalypse. Patricia Styles. I used to know a girl. What was her first name? Her name was Patricia Styles. Maybe that's you. Patricia Styles, were you bowling with me at Lucky Strike in LA? Early 2000s? Is that you? The girl that I was hanging out with at the time, she was friends with Nadia Styles, and her real name was Patricia. There's probably a couple dudes in the chat who know who Nadia Styles is. Maybe that's you, maybe it's not. At the time that we used to hang out with Nadia Styles, she was dating J-Rock from World Famous Beat Junkies. A little fun fact for you. Orion, what up? So we're still downtown. Anybody that's just joining us, it's about 1:45 Sunday morning here in Denver. We're just cruising around in the snow, enjoying life. Life in the slow lane. Not exciting for probably the majority of people, but I like it. This is probably the license plate that I'm gonna get. The all black with the white writing. But there is a license plate here in Colorado that has a wolf on it. You pay, I want to say it's like $40 or something like that, maybe more. And the money goes toward the conservation efforts to protect the wolves. There weren't wolves several years ago, and then they just reintroduced wolves to Colorado. Oh, I was on the sidewalk a little bit. Oh. But there is a license plate that says "Born to be Wild," and it has a wolf in the middle. I don't know if I'm gonna get it yet. I really want the black and white one, but it's gonna be hard for me not to get the plate that says "Born to be Wild." Was anybody with me last week when I was on the rails of the light rail? I don't think Linda enjoyed that. I kind of pulled up. It was sort of in the area where the big blue bear is, and I was kind of waiting at a stoplight, and I looked up and I was like, there's some tracks right there. Maybe I should back up. I backed up, and maybe like 25 seconds after I backed up, a light rail went right over where we were. And at the time I kind of played it off like, oh, that wasn't that big of a deal. But in my head I was like this. That's what I was feeling inside. It's like, oh, that could have been wild. Oh, you see this truck on the right? You see how he has a oh, he's gonna turn right when I was trying to look at him. See how he has a scooper on the front? I saw a Hummer the other day with one of those on the front, and it was weighing the front down so hard. Like the front was pitched totally down because that thing was just weighing so much. Linda was like, oh, that's so nice of people to drive around and scoop. I was like, baby, they're exchanging that service for money. Like, these are not just Samaritans doing good for the community. Like, they need money. Oh, look at what these girls are wearing. Ladies of the night. Actually, I think those are just club kids. Ladies in the chat, is it worth it to look cute even if you have to be cold on the way to the place that you're gonna look cute at? Is it worth it? It's gotta be. If it wasn't worth it, why would they be doing it? It's gotta be worth it. But still answer in the chat anyway. Is it worth it to arrive at the destination in full cuteness? I know from dating Linda, she would rather be warm. But she also doesn't care what people think. Like, she truly does not care. Some people say they don't care, but they really do. Not Linda. If she says she doesn't care, like, it's dripping with authenticity. She does not care. 0 on the Richter scale. 0 on the caring scale. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't care, but I still do a little bit. Like, deep down. Yeah, I think it's different. Like, if you're single, the risks that you're willing to take are just a little different. Ooh, look at cowboy hat guy here on the right. when you're young, it's worth it. That's probably the right answer. Look, t-shirts and just straight up t-shirts on that whole crew right there. Their grandma's gonna be mad if their grandma's watching the live stream. She's gonna be pissed. My grandma would always make me layer up like 4 layers beyond what was actually necessary. And this is the same grandma that's like, Jeremy, the speed limit is the top you can go. You can go any amount under that. You just can't go over it. As my grandma's doing like 28 miles an hour in a 45. Grandma, you need to speed up. No, that's the limit, Jeremy. That's the top limit. You can go anywhere below that. I'm just like hiding my head driving with her. And that's the same grandma. My grandma's in her late 90s. She's still alive. I talk about her a lot on this channel, but whenever she gives me a hug, she tries to hurt me. And she's done that ever since I was a little kid. You give my grandma a hug and she'll take her chin and like grind it in your shoulder or whatever. And you're like, ow. And she's like, I still got it. I still got it. She like, that's like her way to flex. Like when she hugs you, she's like, I still got it. My grandma's a little spark plug. I'm almost positive that she's gonna see triple digits. She has a brother that is 106 years old. He's a living legend. She probably still tries to hurt him. You can see my grandma at the next UFC event. Oh, look at the rickshaw homie right here. And so this guy on the left, he's on an electric bike. Look, he's got dually wheels on this thing. Dope. I haven't seen this before. See how the other guy just has singles? This dude's rocking dualies. Do a wheelie. You got it, bro. I'm blocking for you. Oh, he has like a blanket. Look at the blanket hanging out the back. Bro, what? That was risky. I mean, you got away with it, but that was, oh, that's risky too. They're not even checking the, well, I guess they don't have mirrors, but like they're just kind of doing whatever they want. Almost everything in my life reminds me of a Big Lebowski quote. That, what we just saw there, that reminds me of when John Goodman is talking to Steve Buscemi and he's like, this is not Vietnam, there are rules. You can't just do whatever you want. This is not Nam. There are rules, Smokey. I saw that John Goodman's house, he's one of the celebrities that lost his house in Pacific Palisades. And when I heard that, I just immediately thought like, wow, I bet he had so many custom memory type things. Like when I was little, I used to watch John Goodman on the Roseanne show. I thought he was so good on that. He was in the movie Arachnophobia. One of my favorite movies of all time is the Coen Brothers movie Raising Arizona. He's so good in Raising Arizona. Nicolas Cage is obviously the star of that, but man, John Goodman, legendary performance. So this is Ball Arena. This is where the NBA team Denver Nuggets play and hockey team Colorado Avalanche. Here's where the rickshaw homies are trying to pick people up. Oh, and this dude doesn't have a topper. He has a cowboy hat though. Yeah, this used to be called the Pepsi Center. I went to a lot of Denver Nuggets games here when it was Pepsi Center. Watching Carmelo Anthony, Ty Lawson. We had Camby for a while. We had Andre Iguodala, Kenyon Martin. Jeez, this is where we felt. Does anybody remember when I came down here and there was a lady trying to get into my Jeep? I walked over to see the little, there's a statue for the mascot Rocky. And I came back and there was a lady like pulling the handle on my Jeep. That was right here. Right in the rickshaw area. R.I.P. Matumbo, yeah. When I was young, I used to collect basketball cards. I used to love the Skybox cards and the Hoops cards. And I remember getting some English, couple like Lafayette Lever, Fat Lever. Oh, these are actually taxis right here. Wow. Talk about old school. Who's hailing a taxi? Oh, look at this dude. He's trying to get people. He's like, oh, don't even worry about the app. I'll just take you right now. This is his taxi, the green taxi. Oh, and then this dude. Oh, this lady's getting in an unsanctioned one right here. Okay. Finally raining in LA. That's such good news. I hope they get 2 weeks of rain. All right, let's take one last scoop through downtown and then I'm gonna go home. I'll drive, you guys can just ride. Actually, you let me know if I'm missing anything on the left or right. Yeah, these are rickshaw dudes running the light. Look. So I had the green, they just ran that. These dudes are off the chain. These are everywhere in San Diego. If you go party in San Diego, the rickshaw people will be on every block trying to take you back to your car. Wasn't Iverson in Denver? Yeah. Iverson was here for a few years. He couldn't really take us to the promised land. We had Gallinari for a little bit. He wasn't great. We had Kenneth Fareed. We had Nene, Nene. Look, the rickshaw homies are just not observing any laws. They just ran the Rojo right there. It's okay. Wasn't Christian Laettner on the Nuggets? I don't think so. Look that up, but I don't remember Christian Laettner being on the Nuggets. I remember watching him with Duke. It was like Bobby Hurley and Laettner. I remember thinking that Laettner was good, and then when he got to the NBA, I was like, oh, I was wrong. He's just average.
Yo, what's that?
Is this still open? I like this area. So this is very close to Larimer Square. Oh, there's a STK right here. Wow, I didn't know that was there. They're gonna have a Mastros here soon, I bet. It's funny how much Colorado wants to be California. It feels like California is Colorado's older brother that they're trying to be like, look at Rickshaw, homie. He didn't even look. Jeez, he's getting kind of sideways. Oh, look at this guy. He's got an Avs jersey on. Oh, is he gonna stop? I hope he stops. Oh, he's got 2 spare tires on the back. And the jersey he has on is Makar. I love Makar. There's a hockey player. He's a young dude. His name's Cale Makar. He won with the Avalanche in 2022. One of my favorite players for sure. Cale Makar. I have a Makar jersey. Oh, look at Pups over here. He's looking for a dog sled to pull. Eric C, you like Makar? That's awesome. Does this dog have a bib on? Look at this pup. Oh, oh. My all-time favorite Avs players. Number 1, Peter Forsberg. Always number 1. I really liked Milan Hajduk. Adam Foote was amazing. We used to have a fighter, like a bruiser guy. His name's Adam Deadmarsh. I thought he was cool. We traded him to the Kings for Blake. And then one of my all-time favorite Avs players, his name was Chris Drury. I almost bought a Chris Drury bobblehead the other night on Facebook Marketplace for $5. Look at the outfits right here. That's weird. I missed a couple skirts that went by on the way too. Look how narrow this is. We're gonna shoot the gap. This dude's really not giving me a lane. Look at the skirts walking in. Girl was dressed like a ballerina. I don't know if you can hear the music, but it's terrible. This kind of looks like, oh, this is mandatory left lane right here. Joe Sakic, amazing. I have a Patrick Waugh jersey. Yeah, that squad there was amazing. If you don't believe me, ask Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque couldn't get a championship with the Bruins. And so we Velcroed him onto our squad and got him to the promised land. Probably hot in the bar. Look at the bacon wrapped hot dog homie right here. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And this is where I was standing when the Nuggets won their very first world championship, NBA championship. Have you seen Steve Adams play? I don't think so. Who does Steve Adams play for? Playing some Killing Floor 2 for a bit. Got to get my fix in. A friend of mine did motion capturing for Killing Floor 2. So I have an English mate in Hollywood, and he does motion capture for video games. So he wears those suits that have the balls all over that like little ping pong ball looking things all over the bodysuit. He did motion capture for Killing Floor 1 and 2. He got me a free copy of both. There used to be a Rockstar game, I think it was called Mass Destruction. It's kind of in the early GTA days, but it was just mowing down crowds of people. It was crazy. Hundreds and hundreds. That's kind of what Killing Floor reminds me of. Linda and I are playing Hot Wheels on PS5. It was one of the free games, I think in November. But Linda got really good at it. She's good at drifting in video games and in real life. We've been playing that, and then I've been playing GTA. They had the snow update. I've been playing that. And then still playing Destiny 2. That's my favorite first-person shooter game. But after GTA 6 comes out, that will be the only game that I play for probably 2 or 3 years. Because I don't think anything else will even come close to it. I've been watching all the leaked videos about the gameplay for GTA 6. Oh, look at this guy's outfit right here. Yeah, he's a real American hero. He's running like he's an athlete. Rallycross was good. Rallycross. Is that a video game? Are you thinking of Ivan Stewart's off-road racing for Super Nintendo? I hope. I have a bunch of friends that are fanatical about GTA. I'm one of them. I remember when the early versions of GTA, like when it was just an overhead game where it kind of looked like micro machines, that was super fun. But then when Vice City came out and oh, okay, this is one way going the opposite way, I think. Yep. It wouldn't be a good cruise night in Denver if I didn't go down at least one way, the wrong way. What is this? Central? Is that an apartment building? I need an app that lets you know when you're going down a run. The One-Way Street app by Jeremy Reed. It just flashes red when you're going the opposite way that you're supposed to be going. GTA 3 changed everything. I loved Vice City. I'm a huge 80s fan, so I loved like all that Miami stuff. But yeah, GTA 3, absolutely amazing. When GTA 4 came out, I thought that was probably the best game I'd ever played until GTA 5. And then I was dating Linda when GTA 5 came out. And I asked her, I was like, look, I'm going to be MIA for a month or two. I need to at least beat the campaign so that I can play this game online. And she was like, okay, do what you need to do. And GTA 5 is still probably the best game that I'm aware of right now. I love it so much. They've been updating it for 10 years straight, and they better, because they've been making people wait at least a decade for GTA 6. GTA 4 soundtrack was great. Yeah, so I downloaded, I think it was 8 different discs. That was they were the main radio stations on GTA 4. Amazing music selection. I really like the commercials. if anybody plays that game, they know that there's a guy named Laszlo. So funny. Like, the writing on that game, second to none. The humor, second to none. I can't wait for GTA 6. I've been really closely following all the leaked videos, and it just looks amazing. A game that Linda and I played early on in our relationship was called The Simpsons Hit and Run. And it was kind of reminiscent of Crazy Taxi. If anybody remembers Crazy Taxi, it's time to make some crazy money. Crazy Taxi was a really cool arcade game, early 2000s, that era. I used to play it on Dreamcast. But Linda and I played Simpsons Hit and Run on Xbox One. Still such a fun game. So this is sort of where we started. This is called Spear Boulevard. We started at Casa Bonita, which is one exit ahead of this, or one exit south. And this area to the right, I think this is called Low-High. It's right on the hill that overlooks downtown Denver. And there are a lot of cool bars and places to eat. There's a place over here called Avanti, A-V-A-N-T-I. You go in and it's Asian, fusion, cookies, and then go home. Next weekend, I'm going to be in Utah, so I may or may not do a live stream. I kind of hope that I don't. If I don't do a live stream next week, then that means I'm just relaxing and having fun with my homies. I'm going to be riding Park City. If you see somebody that looks like me on the ski lift in Park City, it might be me. Say hi. I'll probably have a face mask on because it's probably going to be cold. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this weekend. Anybody that hung out with me last weekend when I was cruising with Linda, anybody that maybe was on my backup channel last night, Linda and I played a little bit of pickleball. It was basically just a practice night for us. We're both obsessed with pickleball right now. I don't know how much of that I'm going to be streaming because, I don't know. I think a lot of people don't want to be on camera, and I don't want to force anybody to be on camera that doesn't want to be. But we both love pickleball a lot. We're going to be doing that a lot. We're also going to be playing a lot of Top Golf. We got some Top Golf. Ooh, look at this building. I love this building here. We got some Top Golf gift certificates at Costco. Actually, we do that a lot. So we went and we had coupons for Famous Dave's, which is like not the most high quality barbecue, but like acceptable barbecue. Linda got coupons for Famous Dave's. And then earlier we went into Costco and got the gift certificate that you pay $80 for $100 worth of gift certificates. So we had two different coupons going. We had the gift certificate discount and then also the coupons that we got in the mail. That's our steez. We're still very thrifty. The thing that always sounds good for us for dinner is a good deal, something like a 2-for-1 something. Or here, look at this. There are a lot of cars. This is what it looks like if you come out to your car and you haven't been here in a day or two. So thankful to be here. The last few months have been amazing for me. Even if I light up a stream in a month or two, there'll be somebody that's just recognizing for the first time, hey, Jeremy's not in LA right now. It's going to be very confusing for people when they check in and I am in LA. They're going to be like, oh, he's back. Finally, the wait is over. I'm just going to be in and out of a lot of different places. I think that within the next month or two, I'll be back in LA. but I don't have the exact dates yet. Ooh, something's going on over there. When I do hammer down the details, I'll let you know ahead of time. Just so that if you see somebody that looks like me in LA, you'll be like, that might actually be him. Thank you so much to everybody that hung out with me. And if you could do me a favor, leave some comments after the video. I read all the comments, so it's always interesting to me how people are feeling, what they're talking about. And huge shout out to Linda. She used to get really nervous when I would stream at night in LA. And especially after our address got leaked. She was like, there are people that know where we live and they know when you're... Hold on. This dude has a boot. He needs to call the boot girls from Atlanta. I keep seeing more and more boots here. That's not the winter boot that you're hoping for. Huge shout out to Linda. I was making her nervous. The things that I was doing in LA, I would downplay it a lot and tell her, like, you know, it wasn't that. I would go home at the end of the night and be like, oh, don't worry, it wasn't as bad as it looked. A lot of the time it was as bad as it looked. I just was trying to downplay it a little bit. Here, it's just been so relaxing and peaceful. And for me to get to spend that time with her has been something that money can't buy. Also, the happiness of my cat went way up. People are probably like, how do you even gauge that? My cat has like silvery fur now. He never had that. We used to have 2 cats. I had a cat named Dilla. He passed away a couple years ago. And then his little brother is Mr. Donuts. Dilla had a nice shiny coat. Mr. Donuts didn't. They're both rescue cats. And now that we've relocated, Mr. Donuts is from Orange County. He now has like a silvery coat. He's just been so happy. We have a lot of stairs in this new apartment that we're in. He's been running up and down the stairs, getting in good shape. He's like conditioning. That's my family, Linda and my kitty. When they're happy, it just charges me up to be my maximum capacity happiness too. I do apologize to the people that are like, we used to watch you every weekend because we were counting on a lot of action-packed events. Happy that you're happy in Denver, but we liked it better before. I understand. I understand that people were happier seeing me in those scenarios. I just have to let you know that my family is happier now that I'm not in some of these dangerous scenarios. And for the people that think that I'll never be in harm's way again, probably not a safe bet, because I'm able to do whatever I want. That's the life that I've carved out for myself, is a life where I don't have to ask for a lot of permission, especially with my family. They've had 40 plus years to know who they're dealing with. I'm not a regular person. I just have a very weird life. I'm sure that's not breaking news to anybody. Oh, look at this church. Wow, epic. But thank you to everybody that puts up with me, that I'm a special, like, short bus. But thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for supporting what I'm doing, even if you would prefer it to be something else. Thank you for hanging out, sticking with it. And I do have big plans for the future. I've been kind of trying to ratchet back the promising and just kind of I'll unravel some of this stuff as it becomes a little bit more baked. Right now, some of these ideas that I have are not quite ready to pull out of the oven. They will be, though. And the thing I'm looking forward to the most in my human life, I love upgrading. I love becoming smarter and getting better at doing the things that I like to do. This chapter, this Denver chapter for me has been amazing. And I hope to take some of that energy and some of these new vibes that I have and throw them into these projects. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm going to be doing, not this next week because I'm going to be snowboarding with the bros, but when I come back in February, I'm going to dive into some of these projects head first and just try to focus on some completion and wrap up a couple of these things, because I'm already wanting to take on new projects and I won't let myself because I still need to wrap up some of this old stuff. But I'm really looking forward to this summer. I'm looking forward to being back in California soon. And I'm looking forward to spending more time with this community. I think it's the best community on YouTube. A huge shout out to Ellie. Look at this little piece of art right here. Ellie is kind of the captain of the ship most nights in here. Thank you to Ellie for all that you do. Let me widescreen this. Ooh, I like how they did the sandals. Lady in red. She's got red toenail polish. And a huge thank you to you, anybody that watches this channel. Any way that you choose to support this, if you do support it, thank you. I'm kind of feeling like I've received a lot of the positive vibes that people have floated my way, and I think that's sort of the reason that I'm in this new era of my life where things have been going well. If you've supported me in any way, thank you so much. And I hope that your 2025 is as good as mine is about to be. And if it's not, keep checking in with me, and hopefully I can provide some benefit to you, even if it's just like a laugh or escapism. You can ride with me for a little bit and just see what the world or the weekend looks like through my eyes. Thank you for just being with me. I appreciate it. Please leave comments after the video. I could possibly see you next week, but more likely it'll be the week after that. I'll see you in February for sure. It's going to be a great February. And I'll see you all soon. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Hope you have a great week this next week. See you soon. Good night.